Here we got a huge data set. It's house sales in King County in the state of Washington near Seattle, and I think it's data for 2015. You can see that we got more than 21,000 data points, so it's actually a huge data set. But let's turn it into a map, and with such a high number of data points, you can expect performance to be affected by that. But let's turn this world map into a proper map with the King County, and I already downloaded that and put it into my custom maps here. It's this one here. And I also set up my map coordinates for this one, and notice here that you need to be very precise with such a small map like this with your map edges. So going into locations, we'll not be able to set it up as a latitude and longitude mapping. So define mapping type, longitude, latitude, and just select the proper columns from your cross tab like this and apply. And then wait for this one to be previewed. So we can see that all dots are correctly placed here, and when I click OK on this, then initially we'll see that these dots or points are placed correctly. However, these random columns, maybe they're better off as a heat map instead. So let's go back into map properties for this one. And let's move on to the colors option down here. This is where you can change the current colored map into a heat map. So let's try that. And for the heat maps, you got a number of settings like maximum values, radius, etc. Now we're not going to change the maximum value here because we're actually just counting the number of sales, and each point is one number of sales. So that is the maximum value. We can change the radius here, change to 4, and maybe change the opacity as well, so that we can better see the text through these points. Remember to use the check marks here. So that was the radius and this was the opacity. And now we can also change the color gradient. You can actually create your own custom color scale if you like, but let's just try one of the predefined ones here and go and click OK. So after a little while, we'll be able to see actually with this heat map the density of house sales in the King County. And with all the data points loaded, of course you can zoom in on this map if you want to take a closer look at the downtown Seattle center, maybe something like this. Alright, remember that all of these points here are representing just a single sale, just a count of sales. So if we were having some other data, like the prices of these sales, you see that we're using count here. Now if I'm going to replace that with my price measure, now these prices of each of these sales, they range actually from $75,000 to more than $3 million per house sales. Now, if we want to reflect that, we should start working with the maximum value here. And for instance, we could now change this one into a maximum value of 3 millions, for instance, like this, and click apply. And having done that, and clicking OK over here, we can see that instead of just making points as a count of sales, they are now representing the prices of the houses, and apparently the Seattle area, well, maybe not surprising, is the more expensive one.